Hello, and welcome to Abby Tyler's Healthy Living. My name is Abby Tyler. I'm your host, a family nurse practitioner, a health and wellness blogger, and a community volunteer. In here, we discuss evidence based health information regarding mind, body, and soul with a holistic emphasis. Thanks for joining me on this journey of health and wellness. Please enjoy the show. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our Tuesday show. How are you guys doing? Hope all is well. We're, getting ready. We're deep in the holiday season now. For those of you who are watching, who are joining me now, I say thank you. For those of you who will be watching later, I say thank you as well. Today we're going to be continuing our relationship series. Okay, and the third installment is marriage tips to stay lucky in love. This is not just for married people, by the way. You can be in a relationship. Could have been out of a relationship and learning how to be in a relationship, how to be in a happy relationship, or you want to pass that information on to other people who having any kind of problems in their relationship. Also, this is not based on my own life. I'm certainly not like relationship goals to say, okay, this is I'm going to follow her and see what she's doing and everything. Like, don't base your relationship on what you see on social media. If you're in a relationship, make sure it's between you and the person you're in a relationship with. And if you need to get help, get help. Okay, so I'm also not a marriage counselor, and but I'm a provider. So most of what we do is like an integral part of taking care of a patient. Like I said, mind, body, and soul is what we take care of. We don't just take care of the disease. So an integral part of taking care of a patient and patient being happy is being a happy and safe relationship. Now I say happy and safe relationship. So I always tell people every relationship has its own dynamics. So it's not like, okay, yeah, oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you. I wouldn't do that if I were you. I say as long as there's no abuse and all that abuse towards your spouse or the person you're in a relationship with, or abuse to children in a relationship, then those are things that are like red flags that you shouldn't be in a relationship. Okay. But other than that, you guys can work things out, and that's your business. Alrighty. So before we start, let me give my disclaimer. I'm a provider, but I'm not your provider. So please do not make any changes to your regimen without first checking with your own provider. Alrighty. So welcome to all my new followers. Thanks for coming on, and let's get started. Okay, I'll put my glasses on. Okay, so I'm going to be I'll probably look at the comments in between if I have to. If I see more than one or two comments, I'll stop in between and watch. Okay. Please share the show. Please share the show. I'd appreciate it. Okay, so your friends who I'm not friends with can get it, and also a lot of people who don't know about this channel yet. So let me just open up my comment screen here, and I will look there. Okay, so alrighty. So Shadrach's watching from Liberia. Thank you very much. Welcome. Okay, so let's get started here. Let me go here, open this up. Okay. So this nice article, like, again, like I said, I like to get my notes together and then incorporate my own training and everything into it. So this article is written by a couple of psychologists and some other providers too. Okay, primary care providers. Alrighty. So, like, again, like I said, I see people when they come in, and if somebody's not happy in a relationship or they feel unsafe in a relationship, chances are more than likely they're not going to be taking their medications like the way they're supposed to. They're not going to be following up with blood work. They're not going to be following up with their appointments. They're not going to be going for their screenings and all that. So all of that, if you're not happy in a relationship or don't feel safe in your relationship, that affects your medical health. Okay, so, and we also train to take care of your mental health. So it's not just psychologists and all that. Most of all of that incorporates family nurse practitioner. Okay, so we take everything. All right. I'm not, and of course, up to my scope of practice. Okay. So again, let's start. Tip number one. All right. Purge the D word. Okay. D in this case means divorce. When people are in a relationship and they're happily in love and they come from the honeymoon and a nice cake and a beautiful pictures, over the years things start going a little sour, or the love is not there, or you're going through other different things, and the first thing you start thinking about, oh, I wish that I can get out of this relationship, or you start thinking about like splitting up or going it by your way, and this other way, the other way. People are telling you things. If I was you, I wouldn't be in that relationship. You can do so much better than this person. Why are you involving yourself in this relationship? It's not going anywhere. He's not the person that you married. She's not the person that you married. And all that. Again, like I said, that if as long as there's no abuse to the spouse or abuse to the children and all or anything else unsafe things that are going on in the household, of course that you can find ways to work it out. Don't stay in a relationship and be unhappy. I don't want you to be unhappy, because if you're unhappy, again, it affects your medical health too. Okay, so but don't start thinking about going into divorcing and all that. Again, some relationships, if you're in a if you didn't marry for love, or marriage like arranged and all, you don't have a choice of whether you stay in a relationship or not. Those are not the ones I'm talking about. Of course, in those ones who things are changing now, that when people don't want to be in a relationship that was arranged, they can get out. Okay, so again, try as much as possible. If you need to seek counseling, seek counseling. Seek it from a trained person. Don't go to like a friend, or if a trusted friend, make sure that trusted friend doesn't have other interests as well. Okay, so make sure you talk and talk it over. Most important thing, like I talked about, the first one we talked about was how sex is important in a relationship, or the health benefits of sex. We talked about keeping a relationship strong despite chronic illness, if a spouse has a chronic illness. And now the most all three, the one that runs all three is communication, communication, communication. All right. Always find a time to sit there and be able to talk about it, because when you're talking about things over and over and finding ways to solve the issues, then you don't have to worry about, oh, you don't, the chances of you trying to get a divorce will be a whole lot less. Okay. Don't let cultural norms or everything keep you in a relationship, or religious norm keeping a relationship that is not healthy, that is not safe. That is not what I'm talking about. Okay. So make sure you talk about it. And if you need to seek help, seek help. You can start talking to your PCP about it, your primary care provider, and then they can give a referral to go see a counselor, a marriage counselor, or like I said, in your religious institution, you can speak to a trained counselor. Okay. Alrighty. So just, try to get that out of your mind and work hard and work at it, work at it, work at it, work at it. Okay. If it gets to the point where it is like a point of no return, of course, then that's something you have to talk about and say, okay, this is where we are. But try as much as possible to work at it. Okay. And don't stay because the kids are just going to become, they're going to grow up and know that you guys were fighting all the time and they're not going to be happy. So don't say I'm staying for the kids. Okay. Make sure you sit down and have that conversation. Alrighty. So number two, marriage tips number two, replace the 7 deadly habits in a marriage with seven caring habits. Okay. So learning about the bad habits. So what are the 7 deadly habits? Okay. Now these are not like, so, to where you say, okay, yeah, everything is like 1, 2, and 3. If I do 1, 2, and 3, everything's going to work out. This is, you talk about human behavior. So everything doesn't always work the way it's supposed to work. All right. So, but the 7 deadly habits are blaming, complaining, of course, blaming, complaining, nagging, threatening, punishing, and bribing. Okay. Of course, somebody does something wrong, you are going to blame them. You did this and all, but don't, again, go back to, talking about communication and all. I'm blaming you for this. Let make sure it's like legitimate, and then you can talk it out. If you're complaining too much, sometimes your spouse may say, okay, just kind of tune you out. And we talk, women, we talk and all. And sometimes some men will talk a lot too. But of course, don't tune the person out. You got to listen to what they're saying. Don't sit there and be like, oh my God, all she does all day and talk and talk. So sometimes I just do that. Don't threaten. Again, don't threaten to say, okay, if you keep doing that, I'm going to leave this relationship. Or you do that one more time, don't come back to this house. Do not do that. Don't punish them for something that they did and say, okay, because I'm not doing this, so I'm not going to pay this bill, or I'm not going to do this. Things that are going to affect the household, don't do that. Sit there and talk about it. Again, this is not 1 + 1 = 2. Okay. We're not perfect beings. We're all going to make mistakes. So you say, what are the 7 caring habits? Supporting. Want to be there for each other. Sometimes, if somebody's decide, I want to do this, I want to go to the school, or I want to do this thing, I want to start this new hobby, be there to support it. Even if you don't think that, okay, this is possible, that they're going to be able to do it. I mean, be honest, or just be there to support them. And if it doesn't work out, you'd be like, you know what, maybe it didn't work out. Don't, we'll try something else. Okay. Encouraging also, when a person decides to do anything, try to encourage them. Okay, just go, just put your hand in there, just be there, because you're the spouse, or you're the boyfriend or girlfriend, all that too, and you're the closest person to them. So they're leaning on you for you to encourage them. Honestly, I'm not saying going out there and do some pipe dreams that's going to be so unrealistic, that's going to cost money to come away from the family and things like that. Okay. Listening. Sometimes it just sit down and listen. Okay. And like, oh, I know she's going to say this, or he's going to say this, and I'll just listen intently. Don't listen to speak, listen to absorb what they're saying to you, and then you can start talking again. Okay. So listen. All right. Accepting. Okay, this is the person who I married, or maybe they may have changed this way or that way. Try to be a little accepting of the relation of things that will happen. Respecting. Okay, to respect your spouse. Women respect your husband. Husband respect your wife, and all that too. Don't disrespect your wife in front of people. Don't disrespect your husband in front of the kids. Don't disrespect each other in front of other people, because when they're sitting there and they're seeing that outside, that's what they think of your relationship. And also, when you're doing that, that's how people manage to get into the relationship, because they might see that, oh, it's not that strong if they're disrespecting each other. I've seen places where I've gone before where like the husband might say something or the wife might say something, and you sit in there, you're like, you just want to crawl somewhere because you're witnessing that, and you're like, okay, and that sometimes you're not always going to remember that what you said was wrong. Okay, so but try as much as possible to respect your partner, negotiate. And then last one is negotiate your differences. Okay, yes, sometimes there are things what I don't like, my husband likes, some things he likes and I don't like. And sometimes we just have to say, okay, I will do it this way, you do it that way. And then hopefully you get some of what you want and I'll get some of what I want. So try to negotiate. Again, you're in this relationship. It's a marriage. It's kind of like a contract. It's not like contract like at work or something like that. But it's important that in order to make it work, you do that with. And again, this is not just for married people. This is also for people who are in a relationship. And sometimes you also a counselor or a big sister, a big brother, or somebody to speak to another person. So these are just lessons for everybody. Okay. So, marriage tip number 3, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself spiritually and physically. Now, when I say physically, I'm not saying that when you guys got married, maybe you were in your 20s and 30s, and or if it's the second marriage was probably like later on. When he or she met you, you both were like, hot and like ripped, and everything was where it was supposed to be, and you were just this sexy person, and everybody adore you, and this person was happy, lucky enough to be able to be your husband, or lucky enough to be your wife, and all that. Okay. I'm not talking so much about that. Take care of of course, you want to be going, you want to be exercising to take care of yourself, because if you're physical, your body is healthy, you're going to be healthy inside as well. So if it means going to the gym, go to the gym. If it means again, like I said, taking your medication, because if you have any kind of disease process going on, you want to make sure you stay healthy, because you don't want to get to the point where you start having complications, and then that can also cause problem on the marriage. Like, again, going back to the topic last I talked about last time, there are some illnesses that you cannot control. So, saying, okay, yes, if I'm taking medication for this or I'm taking medication for that, yeah, there will be time that I may lose some weight. There may be time that I may gain some weight. So there's so many other reasons, childbirth, hormones. There's so many things that happen, and also for men too. So it's not just the woman's supposed to say to make sure you go for your screening. Women, you make sure you go in for your mammogram, your using your GYN for your routine visits, and so many other things. Men, make sure you're getting your prostate check, taking your medications, and also for spiritually. It doesn't mean religiously, but also just if anything that can make you a better person, like reading or watching TV or listen to music that's going to calm your anxiety and different things. If you go to church and you find pleasure or comfort in going to church or going to the mosque or going to the synagogue, or if you're not a religious person, but anything that would bring like calmness to your soul and spirit, be one with nature, be all of that. So do that, so that can also help a relationship too. So take care of yourself spiritually and physically. Okay. And don't let other people start saying, oh, yeah, well, when you got married, she was like, or he was this and all that too. So start looking at other people who don't look like her anymore. Start looking, you know, you we're all visual. We'll see something else and all that too. Like my friend used to say, just because you can go ahead and look and all that too, but don't you can look with admiration. Don't look with desire. Okay. So I know sometimes the two can be conflicting and all that, and we're human beings, we're not machines. But at the same time, don't sit there and see this person as more desirable as the person that you married to. Okay, there will come many times, and God forbid something happens to you, that person has to take care of you, or happen to the other person, that person you have to take care of that person. So always remember that. Okay, and there are times you get on each other's nerves and all, but laugh at it. Okay, laugh at stuff and all that too. You see somebody who's beautiful, you see somebody who's handsome, and doesn't mean that you're like, okay, I see that person, they're handsome. God made them handsome, made them beautiful, and all that. There's nothing wrong with that, right? As long as you look with admiration and not desire. Now, the difference is like you see somebody, you'd be like, okay, he's a good looking man. But then when you start saying, oh, you start thinking other thoughts, it is like with desire. So, all right. So that's marriage number 3. Okay, marriage tip number 3. Marriage tip number 4. Try to discuss outside friendships. Okay, let me just 2 seconds here. Let me see. Let me read some of the comments here. Let me see this. Oh my goodness. Oh, what does this person say? River says, "Bro, this woman's talking directly." I'm begging your try. Okay. Let me see. River says, "Bro, say, for better for worse, don't exist anymore. Women would run away from a sick husband. Not necessarily. No. I hope that's not the case, you know. Remember, they may get sick too, so doesn't always mean that. I hope that won't be the point. But please watch my show from last week too, so you can get the tips from there. And Rivers is watching from Wisconsin. There's so many Liberians in Wisconsin. Wow, I never knew that. And Maurice Kerr said he's watching from Liberia. I came from Liberia. Okay, so let's go back there and okay. So marriage tip number 4, discuss outside friendship. You know, sometimes when you're in a relationship and it was tell you, I don't feel comfortable with you being friends with this person of the opposite sex. I don't feel comfortable with you being friends with this man or being friend with this woman. Sometimes the fact that because men and women when they hang out, if you're not married, like some people say that's my work husband or that's my work wife and all, there's a fine line between that. Okay, so discuss outside relationship. I don't feel comfortable. You may say I don't mind you being friends with this person, but I don't mind you being friends with this woman or that man, but especially this woman or that particular woman, I don't feel comfortable with that. And sit down, talk about it, because you'd be like, oh, she's so jealous or he's so jealous and all that. I mean, if you have a relationship and you guard it, you want to guard it carefully, and you love your husband or you love your wife and all, you don't want somebody else coming in and taking that, or your husband becoming attracted to somebody else and walking away from you or doing anything. So talk about it. Of course, you're going to have friendship, you're going to have platonic friendships, as long as it doesn't get to that point. And if something happens and you want to sit there and talk about it and say, okay, oh yeah, you had an affair or you had this and we had a breakup, or we can work it out, or we can do this, that's between you and your spouse and maybe a counselor. Okay, so don't the more you talk about it to other people. I've known people who were like, in a relationship, and then they went to the pastor to go talk to the pastor, and then the pastor left, and then they end up in a relationship with the pastor. Then the pastor could be a man or woman. So you never know. Okay, so make sure you go to somebody who has like a professional background. So, and they took oath that they're not going to be getting involved in a relationship with their clients. Okay, again, we're not machines. Things happen, but when you see that coming, try to stop moving backwards and all that. Okay, so it doesn't happen. All righty. So marriage tip number 5: stop trying to control your partner. Okay, I know some people, some relationships might say, oh my god, I can't even breathe, I can't even go anywhere, you're trying to do this to me, and you're trying to change me, and you're trying to do that. So don't control them. You marry this person that's an adult, you're an adult also. Don't stop trying to control them. Okay, so using external control like it's the main source of marital unhappiness. Alrighty, let me just read this part a little bit more here. So the thing is, if I can, you can control the partner, you can control them, you can say things, you can suggest things to say, I wouldn't do that if I were you because these are the consequences. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go there if I were you because this is what could happen. It would bring problems into relationship, or it could be, or maybe you might want to control how you go out, or they want to control how you wear your things and what kind of clothes you're wearing or what it is you're doing and all that. Don't try to change the person. Don't try to micromanage the person. This person is your partner. They're not your child. You didn't marry somebody who, you shouldn't be marrying anybody underage anyway, but you just don't, and this person nice and soft, and this person, you say, okay, yeah, no, she may be a little bit vulnerable or whatever. I can control her or mold her into the person who I want to be. No, don't try to mold your partner into the person, this ideal man or this ideal woman. You just kind of stifle their creativity. Is this your partner? You're in the contract with them. Try to be on their level. Okay. Not that will be times where he may be better at something, or she may be better at something else. Again, going back to negotiating and listening and all that. Okay, so don't control them. So if I can only control my own behavior, what can I do? Exercise. If I can only control my own behavior, what can I do to help the marriage? Okay, so you'd be like, okay, I can do that, but I can do things that I can control myself, and making sure that things are okay with me. So when we do sit down and say, honey, excuse me, honey, this is what's bothering me. This is what you're doing here. Oh, I feel like you're controlling me in this. So you'll be having a better conversation, a more effective conversation, as opposed to say, oh, don't do that. I know some men would be like, oh, you're not wearing that to go out, right? Or you're not doing that to go out. You're not eating this. And that like tight control because they want their women to be this. And back in my day, or back in my parents in the marriage when they were younger, my father said this, and my mother was this. And sometimes, sometimes men like to control, men like to compare their wives. So like their mother who was like be all and end of, the mother's like always the best woman ever. She never made any mistake. There was nothing bad about their mother, and they think their wives supposed to be like that. And when you try to stray away or be yourself, and they try to control you, and that can cause a problem in a relationship. So don't do that. Okay. Don't do that. Try as much not to do that. And sometimes some women might do that too. Oh, my father was the best day. My father used to do this. My father used to do that and all. No, you both are two people, two different people from your parents. Okay. You got into this relationship, things change over time. Jobs or people you came in contact with change over time, but doesn't mean you have to sit there and control the person. You can control yourself and then sit down and have this conversation. All right. Marriage tip number 6. Let me see. Uh, what's the queen said? Excuse me. How come I'm not seeing Rivers' bro comments anymore? No, it's still there. It's high up there. I can still see it. Look up above there. It's there. Okay. Hi Queen for thanks for watching. Okay. And marriage tip number 6, honor and respect your partner. So we kind of went back to that too. Okay. So by honoring all the time means not, say my old lady stories and your wife shouldn't be flirting with a man, you're not supposed to be flirting. So basically it's like if you go in that kind of merge with the other tip over there when you go in out, you know, somebody could see that as like, okay, she's flirting. Like, people there are ways some people talk and people might think like they're flirting. Okay. I'm one of those people where I talk, I'm very expressive when I talk. My face, I really don't have a poker. I have a poker face in my professional life, but in my personal life and being out there, I don't have a poker face. Like most of my emotions are seen on my face. There are times where I can control it in a personal time too, where you say something to me and I would say, back to you and all that, you wouldn't know that you just pissed me off or something like that. Okay, so many times, but that somebody might see that as, oh my gosh, she's flirting. Even there were times where when I started this channel, by the way, I started this forum 6 years ago. This is the one I started last year. And I'll be talking while I go or appear on another show. Oh, the way you were talking, you came across as you were flirting and this and that. I'm like, no, I'm just a very expressive person when I speak. Okay, so that's the way I come across. And if you read more into that, anything more into that, I'm sorry, that's just you. Okay, so other people might see that. People might say, okay, she's flirting with you, or you flirting with them. And if your partner sees that, if your partner thinks that's what's happening, you can explain to them. Because remember now, when you met this man or you met this woman who was this pretty woman, that's the way you met her. That's the way she exposed. That's the way she expressed herself and all that too. So you saw that lovely part of her. All right. And all of a sudden now it's like, okay, clamp it down, clamp it down. Maybe you're doing that because you're trying to, try to look for a man, try to do this and all that. No, 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 no. Some people are just expressive, and there's some people who just like, oh yes, they're happy or sad, like a flat affect, and some people are just monotone, and just that's just the way they are. Some people are like that. Okay, so don't do that. If your partner thinks that's what's going on, just sit down and have the conversation. All right. Okay, and so number of principles like almost. Let me just see here. What does everyone talk? Okay, all right. So respect. Respect with a happy marriage means that not undermining your partner, of course, respecting, not undermining your partner in front of the children, not undermining your partner in front of family members and other friends too. So it's like, just say if somebody went out, you both are arguing and you're doing that to your spouse, that's what they remember you as. Again, like I say, merge with the other one, that's what they see. Okay. All righty. And marriage tip number 7. If you are the wife, let me just see if I don't go back here and just see one more comment before I go on. Okay, I want to respond to his comments. Queen, his comments are above there. Things are they're right above there. If you look couple of comments up, it should be there. If you both are responding from the same forum too, it should be there, but you should be able to see it because they're still up there. Alrighty. Hope you Alrighty. So marriage tip number 7 is if you're the wife, lower your expectations. And if you're the husband, step up to the plate. Okay, so again, So women expect to be loved, cherished, listened to, cared for, and courted. Every time I want you to like love me, I want you to respect me, and always be endearing to me. And every time I want you to see me as this beautiful person that you got married to, and all that. So we expect all that. Okay. They have a long list of wants and expectations, and so they had a survey. They talked to like a married couple, a group of married couples. So that's what they say. And if you talk to men, it's like the men, the expectations were kind of basic. Typical answer: men said, just bring food and show up naked. It's basically, but it's like that's what they joked about. It's like, okay, whatever, just do that. That is like their expectation was kind of basic, but it was like jokingly because so when it comes to men, they don't think anything part that past that point. Going back to my other show. But anyway, but no, it's like jokingly, so but you want to make sure that you're not sitting there and thinking that, oh, this is gonna be like 24/7 where he's gonna be loving to me, or the man's gonna say, the man's gonna think, oh, this is what you're supposed to do for me every time, pleasure me and making sure I'm like just all that. So that's not how it works. Okay. So let me get here. So men need to do some of the things the woman wants, such as prioritizing the relationship, listen more. Men need to do the things at home that they do at work. So you're at work, there's certain responsibilities that you have to do in order to stay employed. Or if you're self-employed, you want to have to do these things in order to be able to make money. So it's the same thing with your wife. Your wife is your $1 million client. So make sure, and if she walks out the door, your business go down south. So it's important that you do the things that she's expecting you to do, and things that you need to do to make the relationship work. Okay. So, basically be there for each other. This is I'm adding my part now. So be there for each other. Communication, communication, communication. Loving each other. If you need to seek professional help, go ahead and rekindle your relationship. Go on vacations. It doesn't have to be really expensive vacations. You can go on vacation or go away to the hotel or the motel that's like right down the street from there. That's where you live, or like one city over. It's just something different. Always try to find time to do something different. Don't just be in a relationship where it just seems like, okay, you're in this relationship and you're not, and it's just getting like mundane, and that's when you start having problems and all. Okay. Be there for each other, develop a strong social network. So I'm just going to be kind of like concluding with all the other first two now. Develop a strong social network, so when things happen, you know who to call and what to discuss with them. God forbid somebody had any kind of accident or physical ailment or something like that, you have the social work network to go to. Make sure you go into your doctors, getting all the care, getting all the screenings that you need. And remember why you fell in love with this person in the first place. Okay, there will be many days where you might say, and okay, yeah, but at least remember you met this person, you both were in love and happily and all. Maybe you met the person when you were not in love, and this person just happened and you grew together, or whether it doesn't have to be romantic love. Romantic love is not going to be. That's why people say, okay, yeah, you guys get married for romantic love, and then when it's no longer there, then you don't know what to do with each other. That's why sometimes they say arranged marriage works better. It's give or take, whichever way goes with your cultural stuff and all. I can't sit there and say, then somebody who lives in a country where it has to be arranged marriage and say, oh no, that doesn't work, or that person can turn around to me and say that didn't work or that doesn't work. So okay, so but just be there for each other. Remember why you fell in love with the person. Keep the love alive. For those of you who are not married, this is also for you too. Like I said, you're in a dating relationship and you plan on getting married, and all those are the things that you're going to be working on, because if you plan on being this person forever, this is what's going to happen, right? So and, so this conclude our series with our relationship series. But of course, we'll be talking about it later on, maybe next year or so, if there's anything that I need to bring to that. Okay, so don't forget to give me a thumbs up, please, please, please. Share the show. Also comment below. If I see any more comments, I'm going to respond to it before I get off. Okay, so share the show, invite others. We're going to the end of the year. Next week is Christmas and all. So happy Hanukkah to all my Jewish members. Okay, and just be there for each other, love each other. Christmas is next week, or those of you celebrate different holidays and all. Making sure you're buying her there's something pretty, making sure he buys you something pretty, and it should be like it's Christmas. Don't buy like a blender. Don't buy him like a sweater. Don't do something romantic, like nice little jewelry, or if you can afford it. Now, I'm not saying to go out of the way if you can't afford it, of course not. Okay, something nice like a pretty blouse, pretty something nice that she can put on so you guys can go to date night. Make date night a series, okay? No, we can't afford to go out every time because we have children and all, but even once a month, you're wearing something pretty, fix your hair up and all, and just feel that way again. The way how you guys were together, hold hands. I in most cultures, some cultures you don't hold hands and all that too. I didn't see people holding hands until I came to America. So that's not if it's not something that's like there's something you feel comfortable with, don't do it. But if it's comfortable, but just try to do things. Don't just do things that you're comfortable with. Okay, open up be adventurous. Do things as winter time and it's cold, and most times I don't like to go out when it's cold. So, but hey, let's go skiing, or let's go. Even if we go to the skiing lodge and just sit there and do something different. Okay, be in love. Remember why you fell in love with this person in the first place. And okay, so let me just see here. Uh okay, let me see here. Going back here. So let me see some of my comments. Jackie Axie says some people just want too much validation and it's unhealthy to the relationship. I guess so. Like, I mean, I know some people want validation. I mean, healthy validation is not bad, but if it's like get to the point where it's like, oh, okay, over and over and over and over, of course, again, it goes back to the first thing you want to sit there and be able to talk about it. But validation in what way? Because, like I said, if it's unhealthy validation, yes. But if that person seriously wants you and they want you to say things and you're doing something like, you're my biggest cheerleader. Again, that's your partner. You're the closest person to this person besides the children. So if I need you to be there for me and say, yeah, be my biggest cheerleader, not wrong with that, right? But again, everything is a limit to everything, of course. Alrighty, and River says he's watching from work. And let me switch Jackie says again. Like you said, Queen Abby Labor, Labor is trying to. Oh, okay. Let me see her question. Did I miss it? Okay, what's wrong with valid? Okay, yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's why I said, I don't see what's wrong with validation unless it's like unhealthy. But like I said, that person is your partner, so as long as you're there and waiting to sit down and have a nice conversation. And like I said, I want my husband to be my biggest cheerleader. Now there's some things where I do that would annoy him and be like, okay, but I want to be a cheerleader. It's like when I'm sitting in the audience, if I'm singing or doing a play or doing something, making a speech or just doing stuff, I want him to be able to sit there and look. I want to look in the audience, and even if I'm really nervous, to know that he's like giving me a thumbs up. And when I come home and doing things like that, and even if I decide to go into business or do something else that's like a nerve wracking, I want to know that I can depend on him to be there for me. He's not always going to be perfect, but and as of course you want to do the same thing for your husband as well, right? So Queen Bee says sometimes it's the course of the relationship that warrants validation. That is true. That is true. So like I always said, every relationship has its own dynamics. As long as there's no abuse involved to the spouse or to the children, and not just physical abuse, I'm talking about mental abuse and all that too, then you guys can work through basically anything. Okay, and there's no like in taking money away from the house and other stuff like that. That would be financial abuse. Some validations are from controlling. Jackie says some validations are from controlling within the marriage. Then it's time to talk to somebody who's like trained in order to take care of you. Or have you sat down with this person and said, "This is how I feel." And sometimes some old habits die hard, and sometimes people different cultural differences or religious differences, or just okay, this is how I see things and I want to impose my view on you, or and things like that. So if anything that bothers you to the point where you're like, okay, this is stifling me, and this I'm not feeling healthy, I don't feel comfortable, not that you want to leave the relationship, but there are things where I think about it when and it keeps me awake at night, and it makes me unhappy when this person I have to be intimate and things like that. I don't feel the way they want me to feel, and things are bothering me. Yes, then you should sit there and talk about it. Talk to your, like get to your PCP and see if they can refer you to a counselor or something like that. All right. So let me see. Like I said, yes, you're right. Okay. I hope I what I was talking about there. Then Queen Libera is the question to ask or respond to question of before. Oh, okay. I think hopefully I was responding to the right place there. But you know, again, it's like it's like lucky in love. It's like you're in a relationship. It's not going to be perfect, and it's not going to be romantic love every day. And things are gonna. This person's gonna get on your nerves. You are gonna get on their nerves. There will be things what you would do that would change the course of a relationship. There would be things that would happen that would really test your resolve. Okay, and there would be days where you'd be like, okay, I know there are times where my husband gets on my nerves and I say, don't ever find a reason to talk to me again. It's like, you know, and I'm good with the silent treatment at times too. He's the funny one. So he would say something and make me laugh, and I'd be like, I'm not laughing. Don't even try it, you know. Yeah. So it's like, and so we do that, and then I'm sure I get on your nerves, and also over time, you know, when you're younger and all that too, you like, but over time when you know, okay, this is where we're gonna be in this relationship, and you know, for a while, so you find other ways to deal with it. And there are times where you make funny, be like, you know, that's the one God give me, so I'm stuck with her, or like say something, you know. So you have to. Especially humor. Humor is really, really important in a relationship. You just don't know how important it is. It's very important. So you will get to the point where it's like, oh, okay, but humor is very important in a relationship. Right? Let me see if I miss anything here. Queen Abby, I need to drag my guys there when you're on so that they can get the health information. Oh, please, please, please do. You know, invite more people. I was trying to get to at least 1,000 members over until December, but you know, we're getting there. So I just started this fake page itself like last year. So, and we've been getting a lot of people. You guys do watch a lot of my reels. I wish the reels, it's only 90 seconds. So yeah. Okay. So I wish I could do a little bit more, but thank you guys for watching. Okay. And I know it takes a little long. And if you can watch it now, it's always people can always watch later. Okay. And then ask questions. I always go back to questions and all. I know some people I was supposed to respond to them inbox. I try not to respond specifically because like I said, I'm a provider, not your provider. So I try not to get too specific with different things, but I'll try my best to respond. Okay. So and I know some people say they don't like to say things on there because they don't want to expose their health business out. And all, I'm not expecting you to put your health out there. I'm not expecting you to put your disease and other problems you're having out there. That's your privacy, and I totally respect that. So you can ask it any other way, or if it's something that you think you can ask me inbox, we'll do that. Okay, as long as it doesn't cross provider and I can do that. Okay, so but thank you all for watching. Okay, I don't see any more comments. I think I got to everybody's comment. Okay, so thank you all for watching. Please share the show on your page, share the show on your different forums so we can get more people involved in all these things and all that. And Merry Christmas, everyone. Okay, Jackie. So I'll be back next Tuesday. Oh, next Tuesday is after Christmas. Okay, so I will probably see you guys. I'll be making some reels doing there were like little videos here and there, and I will try to come on maybe over the weekend just to come and give my Christmas greetings. But for those of you who will be traveling for the holiday, have fun, be safe, and I'll probably come on Friday, maybe just do like a 10-minute show or just videos during the week. Okay, so I don't want to make this any longer. Thank you all so very much for watching. Let me see. Queen Tip. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas, happy and compliments of the season. Happy Hanukkah, and let me see. Interesting topic. Interesting topic, but always come on when I'm at work. I know. I'm sorry. It's like because it kind of works on my schedule. So, but again, you can always watch again. And tell your friends. Share it in your inbox if you don't want to share it in your page. Just send it to your inbox of all your friends and all that too, so they can see. Okay. And if you haven't liked and follow, hit the like and follow button. And thank you all for watching. I will see you guys during the week. Please be safe out there. It's really cold for those of you who live in colder regions of the country like me. It's very cold out there. Be careful. And for those of you who enjoy the nice little weather, other places, I'm jealous. Okay. But thank you all for watching. And I will. Okay. Bye-bye. So I will see you all next week. Or like I said, I will probably be putting little videos up here and there. Okay. You guys, take care and enjoy. Stay safe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all your love and support. I'll talk to you later. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Okay. Talk to you guys later. Bye bye.